them and bringing those conversations to you. We appreciate the great work that they have done throughout the year. It's not an easy task at all. And of course, we cannot thank the staff enough, and I have been an eyewitness to the dedication of all the staff for the immense effort they put in every day. The incredible work of Transmedia Technologies, a division of Attakkalari, plays a huge role in ensuring the smooth functioning of all these events. Before we commence the celebrations, in the best traditions of Bharatiya Sanskriti, I would like to request and invite the Artistic Director of Attakkalari, Sri Jayachandran Palari, to please accompany our honored guests on stage to light the lamp. Jay. The keynote speaker of this evening, Dr. Shekhar Seshadri, is with us. Noted psychiatrist, much loved Bangalorean, Srimati Meenal Prabhu, who is a dancer, a teacher, a guru, and so is Hema Bharati Parani, and so is Sri Rag. I invite all of them. And in the interests, or rather keeping the pandemic protocol in place, you can see that the social distancing and each guest is lighting the lamp and stepping back. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Don't they say that? I think we've said that in school prayers. And when you look at the lit lamp, it certainly feels like we are moving to a world away from ignorance and unto light. We have Priya Purushothaman joining us, singing as an invocation to the goddess of learning and arts. Priya Purushothaman.
Samanga व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिलये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः नमो वै ब्रह्मनिलये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
No function, as they say, can be complete, or no beginning can be complete without invoking the divine element. Priya Purushothaman, thank you so much. I would now like to invite the artistic director I mentioned before and who you saw, Jayachandran Palari, to introduce our keynote speaker for this evening, Dr. Shekhar Seshadri. Jay.
It's my pleasure to welcome all of you for this evening's performance in a very interesting and sometimes challenging situation. And before I introduce Dr. Shekhar Seshadri, let me say how wonderful the effort by all the faculty and all the students. Despite their circumstances, they kept dance as their company. So in the solitude, you know, they were never lonely because dance was with them. And this evening, we are celebrating their effort. And I must say, Dr. Shekhar Seshadri is a well-known figure in the art circles, in the medical circles, in the social sector in Bangalore. And he doesn't need any introduction for Bangalore audience, definitely. For the people world over, this is a unique man who has dedicated his life for psychiatry and the welfare of children, particularly those who are in difficult situations. But also, he has a tremendous artistic talent, artistic endeavors he is engaged with in theater, music, and quite a lot in terms of giving talks, scholarly talks to people. So he has been an incredible supporter of Attakkalari and a guiding figure, and not only for Attakkalari, for many cultural organizations, many social organizations, and many individuals as well. It is my pleasure to invite the one and only Shekhar Seshadri.
Thank you very much, Joy, and very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and the entire Attakkalari family. I am delighted and honored to be here at this 14th graduation, as Vasanti pointed out, and as Jai reiterated, in unusual and challenging circumstances. What this pandemic has done is that it has created certain losses in our lives. Loss of routine, loss of predictability, loss of structure, loss of access to social spaces, loss of learning opportunities, loss of peer interaction, and loss of play. But institutions like Attakkalari have managed to keep these alive through embracing what is known as the cliche of the new normal. And this new normal, friends, is going to continue for quite some time. I can tell you that from a medical perspective. In this preamble, what I wanted to basically share with you is I have entitled the brief thoughts that I want to share with you as NS 200-200 to NEP 2020. Let me explain. The mythical sage Bharat Muni had written the Natya Shastra somewhere between 200 BC and 200 AD. And in these remarkable 36 chapters and 6,000 verses, many of them interestingly written in precise 4 into 8, 32, the Anustup grammar format, for music, theatre and dance, and the world's biggest available treatise on what theatre and performance spaces should be like. What should makeup be like? What should costumes be like? What should be the structure of music? What should be the structure of movement and dance? To the rasa theory, forming an entire compendium and framework for generations over the next 2,500 years to basically master their craft. Cut to the National Education Policy 2020 and look at what they have stated. Just as the National Curriculum Framework had stated several years ago, they have come back and re-emphasized the importance of art, craft, music, and the performing arts into education. Not just as learning the arts, but also the use of art as pedagogy. They have gone one stage further to say that in all higher institutions of education, the arts are available as subjects which will carry credits, which means many of you who are graduating today have the option with NEP 2020 keeping in the back of your minds the extraordinary work that is present in Natya Shastra, to actually go into schools and in educational institutions to perform the role of what Vasanti mentioned as the practitioner. A practitioner teacher, a practitioner performer, a practitioner pedagogue. And considering that online is going to stay, and online is such a visual mode, that you have the creativity and the scope to actually use what this pandemic has imposed on us to actually combine Natya Shastra, written between 200 BC and 200 AD, the National Education Policy 2020, and all the technology that is available to us to go forth and go forward in your creative endeavors, to take dance and movement into the lives of people, into the lives of children, into the lives of educational institutions, and imbue them with the kind of aesthetic culture that will make people, whether they are engineers or whether they are software, and this is what NEP has said, that creativity is important to really broaden the horizons of your practice. So all you graduates, Congratulations on this wonderful day. Happy dancing, and enjoy the moment and embrace the challenges that the pandemic has placed on us to really take this forward. Thank you very much.
Trust Dr. Seshadri to give us a very, very wholesome view of education, and art is such a significant part of it. In fact, I was busy also taking a photograph of Dr. Seshadri and trying to play a video of his. And then I get a message from guess who, but someone who theatre lovers across the world love, Arundhati Nag, who was messaging me about her watching all this at Rangashankara. So I think despite RCB, despite all the cricket world, there are lovely people watching us, and that's really a sign of how much art is loved, and particularly Attakkalari's work. I would like to thank Dr. Seshadri for his insights, as always. And with that, we in fact move on to the very first piece of the evening. It's called the Sonnet of Solitude. It's a coming together, an assemblage of fragments of emotions that stem from our forced separations. Dr. Seshadri just now spoke about it. And here we have an art and movement representation, conceptualized and choreographed by Jay Palari himself. This contemporary dance piece is each student's embodied journey of restriction, confinement, and memories while longing to be together again. Let's now watch Sonnet of Solitude. I want to know, while you were watching this Sonnet of Solitude, this assemblage of emotions, what were the emotions that you went through as someone who was watching it? Was it a sort of a recap? When the lockdown began, when there was fear, there was anxiety, there was worry, there was sorrow, but there was also somewhere this self-discovery, things that you didn't know that you could do. The coming together of so many different emotions like a kaleidoscope. I think this has been so unique. You have to actually, be thankful for that. So while I draw you from that sonnet back into this world, and those of you who actually thought that, what would it take to actually move like that and have those kind of, graceful movements which also bring together a lot of dance forms, then you begin to think of those who taught the students that. Which means, isn't it only fair that we should actually have a word with the teachers? So let me welcome you back, and if you have just joined in and you have been watching the live stream through the Attakkalari Instagram page or the Facebook page, wherever you're watching from, whether actually live from Rangashankara, from the comfort of your homes, time to say Swagata once more. And then kem cho, maja macho ne, सारे लोग जहाँ से भी देख रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है कि आप बहुत ही enjoy भी कर रहे होंगे. எங்களுக்கு இருக்கிறீங்களோ அங்கிருந்து நல்லா இந்த graduation ceremony பாருங்க. இப்போ நம்ம teachers எல்லாம் கூப்பிடலாம், and I have great pleasure in inviting them one after the other. These members of the faculty who have made all this possible. And as I say, the Attakkalari has to begin right now as I invite Srimati Meenal Prabhu first, the Bharatanatyam faculty. Keep the applause going as I invite Hema Bharati Parani, the contemporary faculty. And the Kalari Payatu faculty, Srirag C. I guess, yeah, we all have our, the squares in place that the crew of Attakkalari has put together. So, Madam Meenal, Nimge Namaskara, and I would like to ask you, one thing which you are really worried about as a teacher, whether you'll be able to continue, and which totally surprised you. What was the kind of experience? What is a surprise element? Did anything come up in this season?
Yes, initially I was, I didn't think it would last this long. So I'm a very positive person, so I thought, it'll be just gone very soon. Then there was a worry about how I would, at my age, start taking online classes. So that was a challenge because I'm not a very technical-minded person and don't like taking online classes. But, in the journey of teaching, I've always found that, everything surprises you. When I first came to Attakkalari, I think 15 years back, I had to learn how to teach Bharatanatyam to contemporary dancers who come with a completely different concept about what Bharatanatyam is, and to make them change. And that was a challenge that went off beautifully because I think the students just took it to it like duck with water. I think they learned it very fast, and I also enjoyed teaching here. Then at this age, I had to learn to take online classes, and that has been my biggest challenge, but I think I've managed it now.
You have managed it well, as I hear from people as well, and this duck to water, you were the medium. That's exactly why it was so smooth for all your disciples. Let me come to you, Hema, and given the contemporary part that, Meenal ma'am was saying that she had to teach from her traditional Bharatanatyam sort of experience. For you, was it any easier to transition into the new ways in which you taught dance?
First of all, namaste for everyone. I've learned from ma'am, actually from Meenal ma'am, Bharatanatyam. So for me, the easier were definitely all the faculties has made this today, what is happening today is much easier because it's only possible that input of the teamwork and all the effort from all the teachers and also students. Definitely the traditional has helped me what I am today. Because anybody any part of the world, they needs to have some basic, strong, quality training. It doesn't matter whether it's a traditional training or contemporary training. The effort and the hard work and the dedication has to be there from the student. And over a period of this time, I have seen several students dedicating and then so much hard work. And also each teacher, we discuss each other for each development of the child, like the student. Sometimes some students are very good in Bharatanatyam. Some students are struggling with the flow sequence, whether it's a strength or flexibility, everything. I think definitely it has helped me as a student, as a student, and also as a teacher. The traditional form definitely supported me to come to
So
this
it was
level.
a kind of an adhara, like a foundation.
Absolutely. I trained in Kuchipudi from Srimati Vaijayanti Kashi and trained in Attakkalari and also been training and also still learning from student and also from everybody. I think from past 20 years in contemporary dance field. So I feel it's definitely useful to appreciate and also to respect traditional.
That's a point to be noted, and you know, there's this sort of double role that all of us have to play while being, I think, while learning something, teach. And you know, Maya Angelou actually said that very beautifully, that when you teach, you learn. And I guess that's sort of something that's coming through to me very clearly. But Srirag, Ninge, what has, is there something that you really miss, that you did not like at all? That maybe the energy of the class when you all are together?
Yeah, I do. I really miss that energy, that group work, and like actually, I give them work, like I give them tasks, and they'll come with pieces. Then I'll edit that. I'll add my piece. Like it's a group process. So like I really miss that. But this was a really it's a new experience for me. Like when Jaisa came with this online testing, I was like, how it can be possible.
Yeah.
Then I start thinking about it, how we can make it possible.
Yeah.
And
And especially for Kalari Piracy, I'm of course a rank outsider, but when I watch you all, and particularly this sort of form, it seems to me that you need, I mean, it exudes so much energy, and to teach it online, I don't know.
yeah, patience.
Patience! That is something. Great. So I think we've had a sort of a glimpse into the teachers' minds and what it took to actually put this together. And so I will leave it at that, because I know we are running on limited time. But I know the students, and especially aspiring students, who, you know, those who are really watching this and saying, hey, when can I be in the other part, have all watched their teachers and cannot wait to be on the other side. So I'm going to be thanking all of you, thanking you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So the applause that we heard is always, you know, on graduation day, no matter how much you've had your own jokes about the teachers and someone imitating, making an impression of the teacher. But then on the graduation day, there's always a surge of love you feel for your teachers. If you're going to be passing out from these corridors and you're like all nostalgic, if you're feeling so, I'm sure you're going to be expressing it in some way. I'm not able to see that, but then I will try and catch some of those messages on the social media platforms. Keep those messages coming as well. On that note, we actually move to the second piece of the evening, and this is choreographed by Srirag, who you just now saw. And what else? The piece that he chooses to call Elemental Energy. Now, this articulates very earthy moves and animalistic instincts, and all in connection with nature. This choreography of his is a blend of the focus, power, and athletic intensity of Kalari Payattu with the creative freedom and grace of contemporary dance. Let's all now watch together Elemental Energy. one of the most ancient art forms that one could say, Kalari Payattu. And I'm so glad that more and more people, even beyond its home state of Kerala, are getting to know more about this. And when Srirag, who we just heard a few minutes back, speak about what it meant to create all this during the pandemic, then we appreciate that effort even more. And of his students, I hope you really enjoyed this elemental energy, and I take forward that energy to actually bring to you something which actually symbolizes that energy. What do I mean by that? Students. And in fact, they are the ones who have converted their living rooms into dance floors. And no matter whatever is going on, the chaos in our lives, and so many memes went around about how we managed to dance and look good on our work from home meetings and conference calls and webinars. Despite that, you carry on with what you got to do. And that is really the beauty of the adapting force of humans. Now, we are going to actually hear it from some of these students who are joining us from their hometown spread across India. And their phones are their film cameras, their outdoors are their stage. And now let's join in on a call which takes me to some of these students. I'm told that Neeta, Saurabh and Ashwati are with us. So I'm going to wait as to who's going to come online first. Yes, Neeta. Neeta, you're joining in from Ahmedabad, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm just going to make sure that all of us are able to hear both you and me very clearly. Majama chhone tame?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very, very good, as you can see. I'm totally enjoying the fact that, I just get to come in last minute and watch you all. And of course, it must have taken months and months of practice. How has it been with you, Neeta?
Yeah, I mean, it has been super challenging since the day one for me. But then, yeah, with the support of all the teachers and especially my friends, we got the body got adapted to the intense training, and then the challenges kind of increased when we had the lockdown. But I am super glad that we were able to push through, and we were able to combine something and present it for you guys today. And I just hope everyone enjoys that.
I'm sure of that. Do you actually want to say, in kind of, I have one question each for each of you who's joining in, that when you are a practitioner of dance, did it feel at any time during this pandemic that, this is going to be very, very hard to continue, this artistic journey?
Yes, definitely. It did feel really hard. One of the reasons of that was because we missed the group energy, and we missed working with the fellow artists and teachers, and that was pretty difficult. But then I think it is also very important for us to identify that these are very important times to realize what we can actually do when we are on our own. And this kind of gives like another dimension to our artistic journey, I would say, rather than bringing us down. But yeah, I mean, it has been difficult in all the fields, and I think art has also been one of the most affected one in this context.
It is, yeah. Let me have a look at who's joining us next meanwhile. Is it Saurabh Chauhan? Saurabh, are you there?
Hello.
And where are you joining us from?
From Odisha, but right now I'm in Bangalore.
You are in Bangalore, but you are from Odisha. What a culturally
Yeah.
rich state
That is so lovely. That's your hometown. So, Saurabh, not every batch gets a lockdown for themselves. You're the lucky ones. तो क्या किया? कैसे लगा? कैसे मतलब adapting? What did you miss most?
Unfortunately, things are not in anyone's hand, but so whatever the situation is, everyone has to walk forward. I would like to say the show must go on. Do not lose your hopes, because you don't know when the things can turn good for you. So the motto is, as I said, show must go on.
Wow. Saurabh, you seem to be a really wise soul, huh? बड़े ज्ञानी
हाँ.
ज्ञानी हैं आप.
No, no, no.
या शायद पैंडेमिक ने इस तरह से बना दिया, लेकिन बहुत अच्छा लगा. I really liked. Sorry, you were saying something.
सब टीचर्स की देन है.
सब टीचर्स की देन है. देखिए मार्क्स तो शायद मिल चुका होगा आपको. If not, then of course today's graduation. So never mind. All the teachers who are in this part of the room at Rangamandala are certainly listening in. They're extremely happy to hear your words. I'm going to use that to actually go across to Ashwati Chandran. Hopefully Ashwati is with us now.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Hi.
Hi. There is an echo in your voice. It seems like you are actually in a mountain or inside a cave.
Yeah, actually, I'm coming from Wayanad. It's the
north
part of the Kerala.
എങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ട്? സുഖം തന്നെയല്ലേ?
Yeah, സുഖമാണ്.
സുഖമാണ്. So from Wayanad, I think you're meeting your classmates only online. Do you really miss the fact that you don't get to really have arguments and fights with anybody, Ashwati?
Actually, it's quite weird for me being alone, dancing alone, because I used to do everything with my friends.
I can imagine.
So, but now I'm really missing them.
Yeah. But, so I just hope that this missing part comes to an end very soon. The fact that all of you are physically distanced, everybody, I mean, there's only so much you can take of social distancing, I guess. But you managed pretty well, and here we are on the day of the graduation. Many congratulations. Excellent talking to the three of you. Thank you for joining us from wherever you have joined us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so you got a flavor of what it means to be in the midst of your very crucial degree
or your education, and then things come to a standstill. If teachers faced a certain difficulty, then students were, uniquely had their own. So while we think about that, I would like to tell you about Bertwin D'Souza, a contemporary dancer and a choreographer who's based in Mumbai, Amchi, Mumbai. So our next piece, which is choreographed by him, urges you to think about how every being is born into this realm by taking on some form of energy, space, or matter. We experience one unique lifetime of colorful emotions, and then we go back to the beginning, and we then do it all over again and again and again. This is life, the performance. Take it away.
My body is
life, the performance. Well, you saw that, and so much of intersection between what real life is and what the performance is. And I guess that's how things work. Now, here we are sitting in, many of us in our own rooms, from our own homes, watching this. And for those of you who want to be a part of Attakkalari as an institution, as a student to learn all this, I would like to tell you that it's a one-of-a-kind program that provides a platform for young aspiring dancers to find their individual artistic voice and build a sustainable career in the arts. You see, because that's what the challenge, that's what the problem is. In fact, when Dr. Shekhar Seshadri spoke about NEP and, all of us would like to integrate arts, but it's not always easy. You somehow think that that's not a career. You can probably at best have it as a passion or as a hobby. But ask students who have made a career out of that. And therefore, there's a real message of hope for those of you who wish to be in. Admissions are now open for the next batch that begins in January at the Attakkalari Center in Bengaluru. You can apply to audition online by visiting the website of Attakkalari, or you can click the link on your screens. It's coming up at the moment. And of course, meanwhile, let me continue my conversation with some more students so that it gives you a real sense of what it means to be a shishya here, a disciple. So I'm going to walk across to see if Preetesh, Ananda and Supriya are already with us. So who's coming first? Who is joining us? Is it Preetesh Sharma? Can you hear us, Preetesh?
Yes, hi, hello.
Hi.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good.
Hi, how are you?
You look like you're sitting in Switzerland. That sort of.
It is quite cold here, it's raining.
Really? Where in Antarctica are you joining us from?
I'm from Bangalore.
Bangalore. Yeah, certainly. It's freezing, I can tell you. It's freezing.
Namma Bengaluru.
That's correct. So, Preetesh, tell us more about what were you doing before you actually got to be a student here?
So I am basically a choreographer.
I see.
So I was choreographing into corporate events. So I'm into this field like from past 5 to 6 years. And I've been doing hip hop also. That is my base. So
you look
I've been
it.
trained in
Hip
that.
hop.
And then
Yeah. So I should have guessed. I should have guessed looking at you. So I'll tell you what. Like
so
a
this
lot
is what
of
it is. And then from 1 year I'm with Attakkalari. Yes.
Couldn't hear your last bit. From the past 1 year, you
So,
are
like from past,
here.
I'm with Attakkalari. Yes.
Yes. So, do you think that really arts can be a career, Preetesh?
Yes, of course, because I've been into this from 5 to 6 years. So I think it is possible. Though people still think like it's difficult. It's like in the way of finance maybe. So there are many things what Indian parents think. Even my parents, so they are still like kind of not very happy with what things we do unless we reach somewhere, So this is very important to change the mindset, and I think Attakkalari is doing way better. My parents are also very happy with the things what I've been learning and doing. I keep telling them sharing every day's things like what I did today, what I learned today. This ma'am came, that ma'am came. So it is good.
No, you bring a very important point, which is about mindset changing. That it's not just engineering, medicine, as most parents of our 1 billion plus country think. But it's very heartening to hear that. Keep that smile intact, and also those little disco bulbs that I can see in your background. I'm sure a lot of people this evening will. Yeah. Thank you for panning the camera and showing that to us. Because how to make absolutely boring settings at home look so happening. You are the teacher for us. Thank you, Preetesh. Thank you so much. I'm going to actually ask if Ananda Jethani is with us.
Hi, I am here.
And Ananda, are you also coming to us from Antarctica?
No, I'm from Pune.
Acha. So Pune a lot of times gets compared to Bangalore. You're supposed to be the city which is like us, culturally, like us, getting crowded, like us, getting unbearable to live in.
Yes.
Which place in Pune did you choose to practice and rehearse at?
Could you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
I said in Pune, is there a favorite place or park or the German bakery or
Definitely, it's Viman Nagar and Koregaon Park. It goes without saying. It's just the
oh,
place for
it's
me.
the Osho Ashram?
Definitely. It's
Great
very
setting. Right. I want to ask you a quick question, Ananda, which is that we heard now Pritesh say that yes, his parents weren't really very happy, and that's natural. You feel concerned about whether that's a sustainable career. How was it with you? Is it any easier for women? Tell me that. Is it easier for girls?
Oh, definitely not. I feel being a girl, it is even more difficult somehow. But quite contrary, my parents have been very, very supportive. So they're really happy about this decision that I made and they supported me throughout. But again, I do know I'm coming from a privileged background. So I do know that a lot of people face a lot of problems and it's very difficult to continue in this journey. But again, it's so beautiful. I mean,
No, no,
definitely.
you said that you already have parents who are supporting you. Otherwise, I would have asked you tips on how to patao your parents to say yes to
I
your
did
career, your
actually.
dreams.
So I stay in a joint family. So for me, I had to have like 5 discussions first with my mom, then with my parents, then my immediate family, and then 2 families, and then 6 families. So I had to convince everybody. So it was exhausting, but again, it was beautiful.
I'm going to recommend to Jay and all the faculty to have you as a sort of future counselor for negotiations. How to negotiate with your family to let you do your thing.
I would love that.
Yeah, you have a career opening, my dear friend. Thank you for bringing in this sort of joy that you exude, all of you. It's a pleasure to talk to you, Supriya.
Thank you.
I'm here as well.
Namaskara, I am. Hello.
ಆಹಾ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ತಾವು?
ಬೆಂಗಳೂರೇ.
ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ? Okay, so we had somebody from Pune and so Supriya, what were you doing before you came into Attakkalari?
I'm actually a cloud support engineer with Amazon Web Services. My background is computer science and engineering.
Good Lord, I must have thought you had this aura of this IT person. You see? Yeah?
Oh, I do.
I don't know if you're
I'll
going to
take
take
that
it
as
as
a
a compliment.
I already did.
I see. So when we are talking about, a graduation day, what does this day mean to you in your journey?
Okay, so I think I'd like to give you some background on that, since you brought up graduation day. So for the past 3 years, I have been religiously going to Chaudhaya Memorial Hall when Attakkalari's graduation show has happened for the past 3 years, because, well, yes, this is a step that I have contemplated and planned to join the diploma course and, go through with it. So yeah, religiously, I have been attending the 2 or 3 day festivals and, I always envisioned being on stage with these amazing dancers and also other performers. So with this year, with everything that's been going on, I'm actually very grateful, thankful to all the faculty at Attakkalari that we have managed to reach this far. We have managed to put out something that we have developed in this year. So yeah, in my whole journey as a dancer, I think of this day as the first day. This is my beginning.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just beginning to think that did you also agree with me and feel that these people, who are graduating,
The students of Attakkalari are such evolved beings, because I remember seeing last year when Jay had invited me to anchor this and the same Chaudhaya that Supriya mentioned. Good Lord, it was such a delightful madhouse. I was backstage and I almost thought that I could start filming and making a documentary about what goes on behind the scenes. And of course, once you're on stage, it's all so seamless, so flawless in a way, and I was totally blown away by their performance. But not one of them said, oh God, we don't get to graduate in this kind of nice galate scenario, and here we are sitting in our homes, and good Lord, very, very aware beings, huh? So I think something about art and movement is doing these little things, I'm thinking. So on that note of what we have heard, faculty speak, students speak, the keynote speakers speak, and the artistic director himself. I now lead you on to what will be the final presentation for today. But before that, Attakkalari would like me to mention that we are immensely grateful to our well-wishers who have continued to support us during this time, because Attakkalari has been driven towards making the uplifting power of dance accessible across society, not last year, not just this decade, not even 2010s, since 1992, people. Take that. So in the current global scenario, however, the means to continue with this mission has been drastically impacted. So if you would like to donate to what you saw, if you would like to pool in your bit to make this art stay alive like it has, and to help meet Attakkalari's current financial challenges, I totally recommend that you visit www.support.attakkalari.org. Yeah, so support.attakkalari.org. You would also be looking at these links on your screens at the moment, because every little contribution counts towards a larger picture of keeping this spirit of dance alive. It's not just about that you have to be one of the major, greatest philanthropists or a money bag. You just need to be large-hearted here. So if you wish to show your support by whatever little contribution that you can make, that is a link for you. So like I promised, we now move to the last piece. The silver lining to virtual learning has been that distance by geography is no longer a barrier to connection. The internet has made it possible for us to connect with anyone, anywhere. And so this next piece has been choreographed by Marcos Ariel Rossi from Foramen Danza in Mexico. So it's called Symphony for Two, Loneliness, and it acknowledges that while we have all been alone and separated during isolation, we each have a strong vision of how we will be together again. So we are actually joined by Marcos and his project manager Liliana, who are in Mexico at the moment, so that they can tell us more about this. So let me see if I can get through to them first. Namaste, Marcos.
Good night for you. I'm very happy. Now it's 9:70, and I'm very happy and excited to share with you. I'm in Cuernavaca, Mexico now. Yes, I want to thank the Attakkalari Center very much. Your director, Hayachandra Palazzi, thank you very much, and his team. The loneliness work is the stories of each one of these beautiful young people who, with their contribution, provide us with an answer in this moment of humanity.
That's true.
Process that we have had during 5 weeks and has to allow us to generate a wonderful bond in the future between these two countries. And for me, it's all. Thank you very much and congratulations, people. Congratulations, boys, girls.
I'm sure listening to you greet them. Marcos, may I ask that when you are joining us from across the proverbial 7 seas, you in Mexico, we in India, you in the morning, we towards almost night from the evening. What is it meant to be So physically distanced from who you have had to teach.
Lily, help
Okay,
me, please.
okay.
Translate.
So,
Liliana is to translate now.
Liliana, please.
Hello, namaskar, everyone. Good evening and good morning for the people that is follow us from Mexico. So, la pregunta es que ¿cómo fue el proceso estando a la lejanía? Que particularmente ¿a qué te enfrentaste? Si quieres en español y te traduzco.
Yes. Thank you, Liliana. Es la prueba que la humanidad nos pone.
So it's a taste that the actually moment they bring us.
Y ahí es donde los seres humanos debemos considerar
So in this moment when the human beings we have to consider
que somos porque hay otra persona que dice de nosotros.
So we can be as we are because there are another person that is talking about me.
Tenemos que dejar el egoísmo, los pensamientos de éxito.
So it's a time to leave all the egocentric feelings or all the things that I'm just the only one.
Y considerarnos como solo una parte muy pequeña dentro de esta gran estructura humana.
So it's important to have the awareness that we are just a little part of a big, better community and world.
Entonces, este acercamiento a través de Zoom hizo que pudiéramos todas estas personas tener un contenido común.
So in this opportunity about these residents through Zoom meetings, they give us the opportunity to really encounter with other people, with other dancers, with the same feeling.
Y escucharnos cuál es nuestro relato y nuestra emoción en este momento. Y eso es lo que creo que encontramos.
And exactly the opportunity to listen to each other, to know what is our story right now, what is our feeling, what is the story that we want to tell in this moment.
Con nuestra más honesta verdad.
So the only thing, it's my honest truth, my honest reality.
Y creo que cada uno de estos jóvenes talentosos y hermosos han hecho una gran aportación para sí mismos, para los demás.
So I believe that all these young and talented students, they really had been contributing in a beautiful way to their own and for their community.
Yo les deseo una gran carrera y muchas felicitaciones a ustedes.
So I really wish all the best for them as a professional dancers, as a performers, and all for the center too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. In fact, thank you, Liliana, because but for the translation, Spanish could have been Greek and Latin for me.
Yes, and well, I just wanted to also thank Yaya Chandra and all the diploma students, because really that's this experience, this virtual residents become a really wonderful experience to know people from the other side of the world and the other side of the ocean, so we can feel really close to India right now. Thank you.
Yes, namaskar, and they do say that. I mean, how much ever cliche it might be in India, but there is a saying in Sanskrit which says Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which essentially means the whole Earth, planet Earth is one family, Kutumba. So you surely proved it today. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you for you too.
I think that's the perfect prelude to leave you with this piece that Marcos
is in fact presenting for us via his students, which is Symphony for Two, Loneliness.
Ashwati, how are you?
Ashwati, I want to take you to the moon and float with you in the sky, holding your hand and clicking pictures of that moment.
Symphony for Two, Loneliness. The finale, the piece, the last piece for the evening. I hope you have enjoyed every performance. It was put together here by the students of Attakkalari and with their students, with their teachers, that is, sitting miles away from where the students were. I would now like to leave the stage for the chief guest of the evening, and she's a multifaceted, multilingual personality, someone who's an actor, who's a musician, a Bangalorean, who's such a familiar and loved face, Vasundhara Das, an exceptional artist, and we are honored to have her with us today as the chief guest. Here is Vasundhara's, presence for you.
Hello, everyone. And thank you, Jai, for inviting me to be part of the online graduation show of the 14th batch of Attakkalari's Diploma in Movement Arts and Mixed Media. It sounds surreal that we are here for an online graduation show for something as experiential as movement arts. But yet, here we are. In my journey so far through music and the sharing of it, it has become so evident that the arts are intrinsically important to our very existence, no matter what we experience and at what level of understanding. This brings me to a place of deep acceptance of the fact that people engaged in the pursuit of the arts are no less important than those building our cities or those saving our lives. Because we, who are in the pursuit of the arts, are in the vocation of saving people's souls, of igniting people's passions, and celebrating the human spirit. The human spirit is the very reason that we wish to go on living, and I cannot imagine a world where nothing feeds our soul or our passion or our spirit. We are no doubt living in an extraordinary time. Being here in this moment is making people re-evaluate priorities, confront realities, reach back in time to memories of childhood and youth to understand themselves better and acknowledge how they have traversed time to get here. There was never time for any of this before, and yet here we are now. Most often, stories of joy from the past are associated with time spent in the pursuit of the arts, whether it was music, dance, movement, or visual arts. Every single one of you here knows what I'm talking about, because when you chose to enroll and be part of Attakkalari's Diploma in Movement Arts and Mixed Media, you were making a commitment to yourself that you would traverse your time ahead on this planet with a life's mission of using movement arts and mixed media to communicate your truth, to enable others that came across you and your unique gifts to bring joy and beauty into their lives, whether as audiences or as future students. This takes courage, especially when it is so easy to make a different or more secure career choice, especially when many people around you are trying to convince you of the merits of a safer choice. You dug in, you stayed your path, and the path was less trodden. The path was with fewer guarantees. But this path has a key, a special key to unlock joy for yourselves and for others. So important. This time has been different for different people, but I think that those best equipped to look at it as a silver lining were people like us, who used the time to go deeper, to learn more, to stimulate ourselves. This time brought challenges, no doubt, but the very thing that makes us tick, our human spirit, made us push the envelope, learn, adapt, stay relevant, and stay focused on our respective big pictures. So today I ask you, what is your goal? Where is it that you wish to go? Whom do you wish to impact? Because our lives can be impactful. We have that latent possibility by simply being artists. If this time taught us anything, it is that we cannot take anything for granted, not even life itself. So when you get out into that real world, how are you going to live? Are you going to just survive, or are you going to thrive? How frequently will you allow your inner artist to express? How will you ebb and flow with the sway of the situations that are out of your control? How will you deeply connect to yourself, to your art, to your audience, to your students, to your surroundings? It is only you who have the answers. It is only you who control the way ahead. It is only you. So be fearless and go out into that world with all that you have learned here at Attakkalari, and also before and after your time here. Go out into that world and seize your day.
Thank you so much, Vasundhara. Your presence means much to this program and to, of course, the students who are graduating this evening under very extraordinary circumstances. And to have an artist in their midst, I'm sure means much. I thank our chief guest, but it's also now time to congratulate and celebrate all the dancers that you saw on your screen as they graduate from the Diploma in Movement Arts and Mixed Media. So here we go. In fact, I'm going to be walking across and seeing to have these certificates actually display on the screen. So very first name that I have on my screen is Aloshi Amal. Many, many congratulations. Aloshi from Kochi, down south. So today is the day. Amra Mari Ebert from Bengaluru. Ananda Jethani from Pune. We spoke to her a while ago. Ashwati as well. Ashwati Chandran from the hills of Wayanad. Many congratulations to all of you. Avani Gangola, Bengaluru. Bhakti Gandhi, Nai Delhi se. The sheer geographies from where students are graduating. Harshavardhani Guna Shekhar from Bengaluru. Jaji Raju from Bengaluru again. Kartika Rajan, Bangalore person. Neeta Khanuja from Ahmedabad, we spoke to her as well. Pathun Dharmaratna from Sri Lanka. Wonderful to have someone from our neighboring country also graduate this evening. Poonam Yadav from Bengaluru. Preetesh Sharma, Bangalorean. Graduating today from Indore, Priyanka Lokhande. Rohi Uberoy from Kolhapur, yet again Maharashtra. From Jhansi we have Sakshi Arya. Must mean so precious. Senjuti Sen from Hubli, India. I was waiting for someone from Bengal to come, and there is Saurabh Chauhan, who we met as well from Tursuguda, which is from Odisha. He's from Odisha, presently in Bangalore, and we have Supriya Koppa graduating as well. Many, many congratulations. To have your convocation, ceremony amidst your home settings. So this is something which you're going to really remember whenever you become practitioners of your art form, dance form, and you go on to do some great things. This day will be, to so much cherish. So wishing you an incredibly bright future ahead, and I've been really privileged to present this evening. And I would, on that note, like to invite Jayachandran Palari to say a few words.
Thank you, Vasanti. That was phenomenal. You always add color and energy to the evening. Last year in Chaudaya, it was fantastic too. So, my sincere thank you to Dr. Shekhar Sheshatri for giving us such an incredibly wise words, as well as always encouragement and support. We really draw energy and sustenance from people like him. Also, I want to say a big thank you to Vasuntara Das. I remember a few years ago when she and Roberto was there to inaugurate Attakkalari India Biennial Festival with a kind of a site-specific performance, which they provided music, and it was at St. John's Auditorium. And that relationship, Vasuntara, in terms of this support and building a community for the artists in Bangalore and in India continues. And I have the privilege of having these wonderful teachers with me today. Meenal Prabhu, great Meenal ma'am, we always say, she has single-handedly really nurtured many artists in Bangalore, in Singapore, in many parts of the world. So always such a delight to have her. She always brings such wonderful colors with her beautiful sarees, always. So I am really an admirer of that kind of calmness and energy she brings in. And we have Hema Bharati Palani. She straddles many worlds, not only contemporary dance, kuchipudi, but also yoga. And she has been a recognized choreographer in India and internationally, won some international prizes in Montreal, in Germany. So it's been a privilege having her teach the students with yoga and contemporary dance, which also they can emulate how to become a good performer. Srirag comes from a lineage of Kalari artists, Kalari Payat artists from the Hindustan Kalari, and I had a long association with the Hindustan Kalari, and we have done an incredible project called Nagarika, actually looking at the movement principles and concepts of body embedded in Indian physical and performance traditions, in Kalari Payat, in Bharatanatyam, and formed with the help of my Japanese colleagues and the German artists, and cinematographers with Bhaskar, under the leadership of Bhaskarji, to create an integrated information system, an interactive digital system to understand the movement principle with the help of great masters like Leela Samson, Dhananjayan sir, and Professor Chandrasekhar, also from Lakshmanan Gurukul, Satyan, and Vasudevan Gurukul, and many other Kalari artists as well. So Srirag, we call him Apu, he comes from this lineage, and since he came as a young person, sometimes he was younger than the students, but over the years, it has been interesting to see how he's transformed himself, not only imparting his knowledge in Kalari Payat and the years of practice, but also developed as a dancer as well. So this is a proud moment. Many Kalari Payat artists have come to Attakkalari and transformed themselves also as performers in other genres as well. Now, we just saw Marcus and Liliana. They come from Mexico. A few years ago, I met them, and since then, we've been trying to do this project, and they wanted us to travel to Mexico to perform there, and the pandemic put a stop to all of that, but the online saved us, and we could collaborate with them in this fashion. We have Daniela Bru from Spain, fabulous choreographer, and really did a marvelous piece in the Attakkalari India Biennial, which is still a talk of the town. Lucas from Denmark did a great job, and we had this evening Bertwin D'Souza from Mumbai. Bertwin had a long association with Attakkalari, starting with the fastest choreography residency. He has been coming to teach at Attakkalari and was also part of Terence Lewis' company and his rehearsal director. So he's a wonderful artist, and we are very happy to have him. And there was Harihara Palani, who was teaching the fitness and cross training. Also, we had Dominique Pote, Niharika Senapati teaching the counter technique. So there are many, many teachers teach at Attakkalari. Professor Sundar Sarukai on philosophy. And of course, Niranjan and Shaimon, from our transmedia technology, they also impart their knowledge about stage technologies. So I thank them all. You know, today's evening is completely dedicated to the students, their spirit, their wonderful energy. You know, one might sometimes say, you know, I couldn't show all of it. You know, there was, you know, like we say about the painting, whatever goes within the frame. You know, the world is so big, or the movements are so big, but we cannot be precious with that. We just have to choose. These are the things that goes into that particular frame. It doesn't mean that the other colors are not good, the other images are not good, the other things are not. It is just a combination of a relationship between these components. That is what an editor of a film will look at, a director of a film will look at, a choreographer sometimes have to look at. So that what you saw is not the entirety. It is only an indicator. It's only a kind of a journey through which you can discover these artists. These artists, younger artists, have much more to offer, and I hope that opportunity will come soon, and I am really looking forward to seeing them in the studio as well. Their bubbling energy, and they also wish to come as quick as possible. Of course, one has to maintain the health protocols, so one has to be careful about it. You know, this evening, the credit goes to the staff at Attakkalari. You know, when the lockdown happened, you know, I remember the people like Madhu, Wilson, Srinivas, Ranjini, Alisha, Vishaka, Niranjan, many of them were working sometimes, you know, like Madhu sometimes and Wilson, from beginning, the early morning till the evening, conducting online classes, doing many things. So credit goes to them. And all the members of transmedia technology, Bahadurji, for example, and Farooq, Janak, Bhumiraj, and all of them have been taking different roles in these times of pandemic. So I thank them and I salute them all. So last but not least, the support for our incredible supporters. Like I particularly want to mention Mariam Ram and Sonali for their incredible support from TNQ Limited and Fanuc India Limited, and also Mr. Sudhakar Rao. He has been an incredible supporter throughout our journey, and Ravichandar and Hema Ravichandar, and many other previous staff members too. And there are many organizations like the Goethe Institute, Max Muller-Bhavan, Pro Helvetia, and many other organizations which has supported us. Because we have read it out before, I don't want to say it all again. So thank you so much. Muchas gracias, Marcus. So everybody, have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Yes, so Jay has said everything that's to be said, but it's also not to say that it's a cliche. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to be the Sutradharini of this evening, and it's time for me, Vasanthi Hariprakash, to say namaskara and stay absolutely healthy and fantastic. Thank you. Good night.